I actually wanted to start with the big Commanders news. The boys are headed to London, England. That's where the international game's going to be. I have been investigating this, as you know, thoroughly.
You've been all over this.
Little by little, whittling the list down, crossing out various possibilities and countries and showcases that they could have played in. And I had this down to Munich, London, or Madrid as of a week ago. We found out they weren't going to be the Munich game 2 days ago. And so we knew it was Madrid or London. The prediction made by my office, my team, was that they weren't going to send Washington back to Madrid for a second straight year.
The pulse in camp was under the impression that it was not going to be 2 straight Madrids.
So for the second time in team history, for the first time since 2016, a decade ago when Dustin Hopkins missed an extra point, a game went to overtime and Washington remained tied and had to tie the Cincinnati Bengals. The Burgundy and Gold are headed back to England.
So they're hosting the game and we don't know their opponent yet, right?
Correct. I would guess it's an AFC team. There's a lot of reasons for that. But
I've heard everyone say that, and it makes sense to me, I suppose, that it's not one of the essential, tie-breaking type games in your division. You're not going to go play a division game over there, you wouldn't think, although I guess maybe that's going to happen at some point.
Well, the math works out that way.
But it works out, right?
Oh, every other international game, of which there are almost 10 of them, is going to be hosted almost exclusively by NFC teams. So the NFC teams on your ledger, some of them are already playing an international game as it is. So a lot of the AFC teams are going to be traveling to the international games. And then just typically you don't put marquee divisional games in London. You're putting the Jaguars and the Jets or some cross-division stuff or what have you. So you get a lot of like Vikings-Browns and the games that don't really mean as much, the once every 4 or once every 8 year type games are what happens. So I think it's probably, we're looking at like the Texans game, the Colts game, maybe one of those AFC South matchups, something like that. Those are the home dates within that division. But yeah, I'm going to guess, if I had to, an AFC team travels to Washington, and rather than seeing them at Landover, you're going to see them in London. Now, I've done a little bit of digging on this, and it sounds like the team does not expect to stay there and play 2 games. Because that was one of the other things I heard right away. Remember, the Vikings did this last year. Washington's got Jacksonville on the schedule as a road game this year. The Jags are playing as hosts the second and the third game in London. So the way the London schedule works is 3 straight Sundays, 3 straight weekends, 3 games in a row in England, and it's going to be hosted by Washington, then hosted by the Jags and the Jags. And so a lot of people thought, well, maybe the Commanders are going to be the Vikings this year. They don't like making teams travel across the pond. So Washington goes and hosts, then they stay and play the following Sunday, and they just do 2 games there. The team is not expecting that, and that does not sound like it's what's going to happen.
Okay.
So I don't want to say you can completely eliminate that, but I would not bank on that. It's a one and done. They go to London, they host somebody, they come home.
We can be eliminated. Yeah, it's starting to take shape a little bit, right? As you're kind of doing the math. We're going to find out, obviously, in due course when the schedule release happens, how many primetime games and where the teeth of the schedule is, right? Where that stretch is that we're all kind of looking at, but that will be in there, right? So we still don't know a lot. We know still, it's now 1/1000th of all the information in terms of when the games line up, et cetera. But now we do know that Washington is going to London. I wonder if it's going to be like Madrid was in terms of fan interest. Because I think a lot of people booked that, not like at the beginning of the season, thinking about, hey, they're doing great, I'm going to go book and see what's going to happen. This is like you plan something around. I mean, that's, going to another continent there. Sounds like such a huge deal. I'm wondering what it's going to be like given what happened this past year. There's so many expats. I mean, I know, for example, 2 people that, top of my head, that one I went to school with, one I played Little League with, that live in London that are Washington fans. I bet you they go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So there's enough expats that would want to do it, people living and working abroad. But I wonder if it's going to be that same mass exodus from Dulles Airport all the way across to go see it.
Belichick run him out in New England? Expats?
Good bit.
Thank you. That's a term I have not heard in a long time. I get it. I know what it means.
Right.
But I didn't expect to hear it at 2:08 today.
At 2:08, man.
I think there's going to be a ton of fans there. Could be wrong on this, but I think the Madrid experience was so fun and so memorable and so awesome for the people that went that those stories have been told and they've evangelized, so to speak, on international travel for the NFL.
They spread the gospel.
Everybody's got a friend. Like Toby is our guy, our link to it, who went over there, and for some reason, even though he doesn't like pasta or Italian food, Toby went to Madrid and then only ate pasta every single night.
We should talk about it more.
It's one of the craziest things that happened while he was over there. It was that, and then he spent, I think it was $8,242 on merchandise, celebrating the team, the NFL, and the game. He just got a bunch of NFL gear and like Dolphins.
The Rob
hoodies.
Lowe collection.
Exactly. But anyway, our guy Tobes was there, and he has sung the praises and talked about how that's what he wants to do now, is travel to these international games and have these experiences. He's one of a plethora of people in my life who have done that. So as soon as the news broke today, I'm thinking it'd be kind of fun to go to London and cover a football game. My wife texted me and says, "Are we going to London?" I'm asking her, "Are we taking the kids? Is this a solo expedition? Just you and I? How are we doing this?" But my guess is, because last year, while well-traveled and pretty amazing, the turnout, more expensive to go to Madrid, longer travel, a little bit more of a pain in the ass. London, it's not like flying to Atlanta or Orlando, where it's just a hub.
Right.
But it's closer to that as far as Europe goes.
It's pretty
in a
much
lot of
Seattle.
places.
You know, it's almost the exact same. Now you got to go through customs, and it's a pain in the biscuits, but still, it's
Yeah, you need a passport. You don't for Seattle, and you got to deal with customs. But it's about as easy an international trip as you can make. And we've got all of the people that went to Madrid that have screamed about how great it was. And then you've got a lot of people that were contemplating doing Madrid who probably were like, wish I would have done that. And now 1 year later, you get another op here to go to London. And the last thing I would say is you don't know when the next international game is going to be. Now, the league is trying to go international. They are Mr. Worldwide. They're Pitbull at this point. Every year is a different country, whatever. But because the Commanders were in Madrid last year and London this year, the league might leave them alone for a few years. So if you really want to go see an NFL game somewhere else, if you want to get into global travel and go outside of the United States of America, this might be your shot here. And they haven't been to London in 10 years. So if you're trying to cross England off the bucket list or something and you're a big Commanders fan, what better time than right here and right now?
a couple birds with one stone. Yeah, I mean, I will say, I was in London late summer and like kind of early fall.
How many times have you been in London?
Just a few. But each time was like for 3 or 4 days, and then kind of went somewhere else, use it as sort of a hub. It's fantastic. So that summer is miserable, like it is anywhere else. But when you get into the fall, it's pretty damn great. It's very walkable. It's very easy to get around. Everything from public transport to the tube, as they say, taxis, everything's easy. So the city makes sense if that makes sense.
So 2 things. One, we are going to quiz Ryan. He does not know this yet. He's out of the studio. I don't know where he is right now. But next segment, I want to play a game of Does Ryan Know It? And you guys are going to bet on whether or not he does.
Oh, London edition.
I have put together London, England questions for Ryan, and we have tickets to give away. In fact, we have pairs of tickets today, 3 pairs to go to a show tomorrow at the Anthem, where Jim Gaffigan, who's one of the great comedians that we have,
he's amazing,
is going to be performing live. So if you want to play Does Ryan Know It London, England edition, you can fill up the phones now at 800-636-1067. We'll be playing that game coming up at the bottom of the hour. And Ryan, again, doesn't know it yet. It's like on one of these Maury or TV shows where we're having him sit in another room right now.
Yep.
Except I don't know where he is. He's just wandering around somewhere.
Maybe getting a cup of coffee. But we're pretending he's in like an isolated green room where you can't hear.
He's wearing... Did he go do the coffee bit for you and him?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
He's just in the kitchen, just
putzing around. Yeah,
absolutely.
Just
All right,
cooperating.
but we will play Does Ryan Know It London Trip Edition. Second, you said you went 3 times.
Yeah.
What were the occasions? Like ever for travel, like just for fun?
Yeah, fun / semi-vacation. It's hard to explain. Like once we were there for a soccer trip, part of my son's thing that we did this past summer. Spent a little bit of time there. Then we did we pit stopped on the way to a wedding. My friend was getting married in Paris and was like, wow, I've never been to any of these places. Why don't I go here for a few days? And then once was to visit some friends.
So what I imagine happening is I'm going to consider taking my kids and doing like a vacation out of this. We will end up not taking my kids and not doing a vacation. That's how I envision this going.
Walk me through that. Like you'll want to do it, then realize the logistics aren't impossible, or is it
I'm going to realize as I think about it that it's going to be less enjoyable for my wife.
Right.
And I'm just trying to get her away and have her have some fun for a few days. Stay-at-home mom. That's number 1. Number 2, it's really the expense.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody wants to pay for the whole family to go,
Right.
Great, let's do that.
Sponsor the Paulsons.
That will not be happening. And so when I start to look at, because I have so many kids. I don't know if you know this.
I do.
Like every time you turn around, we have another kid. So there's 4 children. That means flights.
Yep.
They all need tickets.
Yep. Now, 2 of them are lap kids. You ready for that experience
I
on
think
international?
One of them is
I
going
guess
to grow
one
out
is,
of the lab.
yeah.
So we've got just the baby. So that's at least 3 more flights. And then you have a hotel where we need, do you have rooms that connect, or what are we doing? And how do you sleep at night? Like that. The worst thing in the world, if you have little kids, is having a family of 6, like all trying to sleep in one room on little beds and things.
Yeah.
We do this thing at a Christmas time where we go to the aunt and uncle's house, and they have very, very nice. They've got like rooms for everybody, but our kids are like on an air mattress, but it's no one sleeps all night long. Am I signing up for that for a week?
Yeah.
So between the expense, too expensive, and whatever that is, probably won't happen.
There's going to be a stomach thing too. Like there's going to be pyrotechnics. I'm telling you, I've been there, done that.
The reason I bring it up is the first thing I think about when I heard London was, what a cool place to try to take my kids. And I certainly think the older ones, who will be 7 and 5 at that time, I'm not suggesting that they'll remember it when they're 50, but I think it's a historical place. It's a neat place. There's a lot to learn, a lot to do.
There's a ton to do.
That would actually be great to take them for that experience. And in a different multiverse with tickets being cheaper, maybe I would. But I would imagine the 2 younger ones, that is just a mistake.
To me, now, my wife would disagree with this. She thinks you just take them always, like carry them like suitcases through the airport and just deal with all the misery of travel.
Yes.
Because somehow it helps them as like 6 months old or something like that. I don't get that. I don't understand it. The older kids who have an appreciation to some degree, my 12-year-old, for example, if I took him to the Tate Modern to look at some of the really nice paintings, he wouldn't give a hot crap at all. Like, there's nothing there to that. Or like my 7-year-old at Big Ben, he'll be like, okay, cool. Can I get ice cream?
There is not a child in the United States of America, or probably, if I'm going to be honest, a child in London who would care about doing any of that.
Right.
I mean, even when we take them currently, when we go to museums or fun things, like we do a lot of the VA 250 things now. We're getting our passport stamped and we're going to different places, and they really, really enjoy that. But they've got an hour and a half where I'd like to spend 7 hours at Jamestown. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just depends on the age. But London is, I don't want to say it's doable for me, because I still have to fly over the ocean for many, many, many hours.
You do.
But when the Madrid thing came down the pike, I immediately said, don't even think about it, Danny. Anybody getting any ideas around here, I ain't going to Madrid.
Okay.
I'm not willing to rule on London in the same way.
Look at this.
Am I willing to say right now that I would definitively go? I'm not.
Do you think there's any way, and I mean this sincerely, do not laugh, that as a show, we'd be able to go and then like broadcast from there and like do the international experience, because it's like, it's just over there. It's not that ridiculously far. You know what I'm saying? Like we would, it's 5 hours ahead, so we'd have to work it out, but we'd have days in London, and we could, it'd be the ultimate show trip. We'd meet up with so many fans. What do you think?
I don't know what you're asking.
Do you think there's any way the Grant and Danny show goes to London? No, that's not funny. Stop it. I'm being serious.
Or like side jobs are paying for us, right?
No. Like if they go, hey, this is a great thing. There'll be lots of fans there. What a cool experience for everybody. It's an international game. They haven't done it in 10 years. Who knows when they're doing it again? It's not like they're going, to the other side of the globe in a different hemisphere where it's summer when it's winter and it's up and it's down. This is just 5 hours east.
Yes.
Right? It's the equivalent of going from Seattle to D.C. The show should go. Do you think... Man...
I feel like Kondorian Murad could say, we want to send the boys to London, and it would still be a no. That's kind of where I'm at on this. Yeah. And we have 8 months or so to plan it. I think what's going to happen is like 6 weeks before right now. So I'm going to say no.
Yep.
The show is probably not going to
I'm going to say no, too, and it's not because the audience laughed at me. It's just because there's no way.
It could just be a Paulson family vacation. Now, I'm not one to generally take off from the radio program and go on vacation. It's not something we've done very often the last couple of years. And certainly in the NFL season, I always tell my wife we can't miss any time. But if she really, really wants to go to London and there's a football game involved, maybe I'll try to convince the boss to let me do a Comrex bit.
You could be our man on the ground over there.
I could be the man on the street for you. But I need to get you over there, and then we could just do the show. What if we just did that?
So that's kind of what I'm saying.
Well, no. But you're asking, like, would we be sent without paying for ourselves to go and, like, on a family vacation?
Oh, you're saying Danny Rouillet ponies up the cash
exactly.
just to go to London?
Danny just says,
crashing on your couch?
Me and my wife are coming too. Now, you guys wouldn't sleep on our couch. You'd get your own hotel room.
Oh, that's more expense for old Randy Douye?
Well, yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. Audience got that joke.
You would need a flight, and you would need a hotel.
And I'll be putting this on my credit card. See, yeah, no way.
Don't be so parsimonious.
Is that the second time you've used that word in the last week?
It's a word I've been trying to work in.
How did that get in there?
I'm doing a vocab thing.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to branch out and learn.
That's
some new
really
words.
good. Since I stopped reading, like for pleasure,
That's what it is.
That's what happened to me. Like everybody has to give up something when they have kids. Sometimes it's multiple things, and that's what I don't do anymore. I don't read books anymore the same way.